A New York Jets insider has revealed the truth on the rumors of the New York Jets and their interest in Shedeur Sanders becoming their 7th overall pick and their future quarterback, with other quarterbacks also named by this insider, and we are going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And if you guys are part of that 70% that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, make sure to subscribe right now. More importantly, though, let's jump into the video. We have a lot to discuss on the New York Jets. As we all know, the biggest name in the draft is Shedeur Sanders. Having that last name and being the son of Deion Sanders will usually do that for you. And that's the case for Shedeur right here. And he's been slipping down draft boards a lot recently. And with him slipping down draft boards, what we have seen is him really just start to get to a point where now the New Orleans Saints are the favorites to land Shedeur Sanders, so it's becoming more and more increasingly likely that Sanders will be around at 7th overall if the New York Jets wanted to select him. And Jets insider Connor Hughes discussed this recently, saying that I would be very surprised if the New York Jets ended up drafting Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems very clear to me that the Jets want to give Justin Fields every single opportunity to be their quarterback of the present and the future. That's why they already named him the starter. And they stressed they'll give him the opportunity to play quarterback and are in the process of building things around Justin Fields. Drafting Sanders makes all of that pointless. The clock to play a top 10 quarterback starts the moment you turn in the card with his name on it. It's not about what those in front of him do. When he's ready to play, he's going to play because he's the future of that team. So a lot going over with Shedeur Sanders there, Matt, which, I mean, it does make some sense for sure that the Jets would show some interest in him, but at the same time, I do agree with Hughes here.
So the New York Jets, we heard that Justin Fields only wanted to go to a team where he was going to be the unquestioned starting quarterback. So we can expect that the New York Jets made him some assurances behind the scenes and told him that he was going to be the starting quarterback. If they went ahead and selected Shedeur Sanders with the 7th overall pick, that would be then the New York Jets saying Shedeur Sanders is our future, not Justin Fields. So Connor Hughes is saying this is an unlikely selection in the interest of having those two things not go directly against each other. Shedeur Sanders is falling down draft boards, but we have to remember it only takes one NFL team to choose that he is their quarterback. It doesn't matter what the consensus says about Shedeur Sanders. It only matters what the team on the clock says. And if the New York Giants decide that in this private workout that they're doing this week, the week right before the draft, if they decide that he is their quarterback, they're going to go ahead and take him. So in that situation, he wouldn't even be available for the New York Jets with their pick. We, of course, since the college football season was still going on, have been saying that we are hoping that a team ahead of us selects Shedeur Sanders so he isn't available when the New York Jets are drafting, because we want a starting quarterback with elite traits, not a quarterback with a bit of a noodle arm and no escapability when it comes to pass rushers getting into the backfield, but a guy who can absolutely throw the ball very deep and is very escapable when defenders enter the backfield is Justin Fields. He has that pretty much 1-year prove-it deal. We're about to find out pretty much once and for all whether Justin Fields can be a long-term answer for a franchise. And I absolutely agree with Connor Hughes here that when you pick up Justin Fields, you have to give him all the support that he is your starting quarterback. He already has enough stuff going on. He already has enough stuff that he's thinking about. He can't be thinking about, am I this team's number one choice to be the starting quarterback? You gotta make everything as easy as possible for Justin Fields if you are interested in seeing him work out, which we have a couple million reasons why we are interested in watching Justin Fields work out. And if he was going to work out for the Jets, we would be able to have an elite quarterback with elite traits, and we would still be hanging on to all those first-round draft picks to help us build a team around that quarterback. So, of course, it makes all the sense in the world for New York Jets fans to be hoping for Justin Fields to be the answer so we can use that 7th overall pick on either that right tackle that can protect him extra or a highly talented weapon to catch passes from our quarterback of the future.
I agree. I don't really see the point in drafting Sanders. As you said, he can't escape from the backfield at all. In his first year at Colorado, his rushing yards, because sacks affected, were literally in the negatives. I believe it was negative 50. Now, where he's at right now absolutely just does not feel like he is a top 10. He's not a top 10 worthy player, and I mean, there's an argument if he's a top 2 quarterback in the draft. This is known to be a weak quarterback draft. It does feel like Cam Ward very likely could end up in Tennessee. Recently was streaming himself playing Fortnite and did mention that when talking about the best quarterback or the best wide receivers in football, Treylon Burks was 4th. So yeah, so I think.
I mean, hey, I have a problem with that, Chris, because he mentioned some running backs and did not mention Julius Chestnut, who's the best running back on that team. So
that's a fact.
That's a problem.
That is both a fact and a problem. So Cam Ward, get your stuff together. Start talking about Julius Chestnut and the fact that he's the greatest player ever. Also, walking past him in the halls at school was so weird because I'm a foot taller than him. I just flex that I'm tall, guys, because I don't. Here's what I have going for me. I'm tall, and I have this tattoo of a palm tree in my arm, and that's about all I have in my life at this moment in time. And Jets Digest, so make sure to subscribe because that's what I got. In all seriousness, though, look. Connor Hughes also mentioned the fact that selecting someone like Jalen Milroe or Will Howard on day 2 or day 3 makes far more sense. Now, Jalen Milroe's not going to be there on day 3, just to cut out for a second, but it makes far more sense, which it absolutely does. Those are developmental guys worth investing in. Their insurance of Fields. If Fields fails, the Jets could flip them for better returns if Fields does turn into a franchise quarterback. Similar to what the Patriots did with Jimmy Garoppolo, as Connor Hughes mentioned, except for, the Jets don't have a Tom Brady right now. They're hoping that Justin Fields works out. So, I mean, again, we've talked about this as well. First of all, Jalen Milroe might go on day 1. So day 3, you could toss that right out the window. But he's going day 1 or day 2. The Jets could take him. But we've talked about it. If they really do want to go with Fields, which it seems like they does, it feels like they're somewhat building the offense around Fields because, well, he is their quarterback. And frankly, at the end of the day, it just feels really, really unlikely that the Jets would take a quarterback super early. And no matter what, if they take a young enough quarterback, as we've said multiple times, Justin Fields is no longer the golden boy. The second another quarterback is drafted, they become the golden boy because they're new. There's no bad history of play or of negative play, really. So it does become this situation where the New York Jets have found themselves in, where everyone's now calling for this rookie quarterback to get reps. The second Justin Fields throws an interception, doesn't convert a first down even, things are already going to get rocky. So it makes things super interesting to look at.
So there are obviously those interesting other quarterback options in the draft. An important point, we talk about how Jalen Milroe got invited to the green room at the NFL draft in 2025 in Green Bay, which means that they are expecting him to go highly in the draft because every single year the NFL talks about how they don't want to have a draft slide of a prospect who was invited to sit in the green room for round 1 of the draft. So Jalen Milroe was invited and has accepted his invite. He's going to be in the green room. Also, quarterback out of Ole Miss, Jackson Dart, is also going to be in that green room. So either the NFL is setting up the one thing that they don't want to happen, or someone knows something that we don't know yet. And both of those guys are going in round 1, which would not surprise me for a second because right now the NFL is absolutely desperate for quarterbacks. That's why if we watched during the whole offseason, pretty much Shedeur Sanders has been mocked in the top 3. But these teams are desperate for quarterbacks. And while Shedeur might not have, or Shedeur, Jackson Dart, they might not be elite prospects, they are still going to be guys that a franchise, maybe even the Jets on a trade up into the back of the first round, can convince themselves that they are the answer for that team long term. And the New York Jets really cannot be discounted on doing any of these things because there are too many quarterbacks who have been invited to the green room, too many quarterbacks who are expected to go very early in the draft. The New York Jets, of course, have been mocked to. They've been linked to, it seems like, every single quarterback that is draftable. Now, we are going to find out exactly who those quarterbacks are going to be, if it's even going to be a new quarterback on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday of next week. And they might just stick around with the guys they have now. We know Tyrod Taylor is a capable backup. Justin Fields is going to be the starter because at absolute worst, he's going to be neck and neck with Tyrod Taylor. And then they're going to play the young guy who they're paying more money to. Because the new GM wants to be the guy who said, that's my guy. I picked him. The franchise is winning now because of my guy. He wants to do that. That's why he's going to take Justin Fields over Tyrod Taylor if they were even through training camp. But it's going to be very interesting to see what not only the Jets, but a bunch of these NFL teams do here in the draft as it pertains to the quarterbacks.
I am very, very excited to see how that all goes down with the New York Jets right now. Again, Armand Bembo is going to continue to be the favorite up until we see what happens on the day of the NFL draft, and we will be giving you all the updates. So make sure you subscribe to Jets Digest, like this video, turn on post notifications, leave a comment down below. Guys, have a great day, and go Jets. Remember, I am tall.